Hi guys, hello. Okay, good day guys, and welcome to today's live stream. Welcome to Princess Anu TV. And guys, today we are going to be addressing some of your fears. I have some that I thought of personally by myself, but I want to be very realistic today. So I want you guys to be telling me about some of the fears that you have concerning flight training, concerning flight school, and all that. And I'm going to be deciphering your fears. Like, we're going to be breaking it down. Is this thing you think about in your mind possible? Is it not possible? How can I mitigate this fear? How can I like take it out? How can I eradicate it? That's what we're going to be doing today. Hi, welcome. Welcome guys, and welcome Sahi, welcome. Okay, it's nice having you guys here today. Wanza, welcome. So sincerely, I want you guys to be telling me your fears. What are the fears you guys have concerning aviation? But there are two particular fears I've written down today that I want to talk about. Then as the video goes on, we'll talk about others. Then other episodes, we're going to talk about the remaining others. Hi Kerry Root, welcome. So basically guys, if you're new here, this is Princess AnuTv. We talk about aviation, motivation and adventure. And if you've not subscribed, do me a favor, click on the subscribe button and click on the bell so that whenever I post anything, you'll be able to see it. So don't forget also guys, we are doing a giveaway of books and materials as time goes on. The moment we hit 2,000 subscribers, we're going to be doing the giveaway for books. Then as time goes on, we are going to be giving materials once in a while. Olumide, welcome. So that's what I have for you guys today. Well, firstly, I'm going to be dealing with the fear of bad hostel and the fear of failure. So which one should I pick first? Let me pick the fear of bad hostels concerning flights. Kumadiza, welcome. I'd like you guys list your fears. Tell me, what are your major concerns concerning going to a flight school? What is the thing that bothers you so much? What's your fear? Basically, that's what I want to know so that we can be treating them accordingly. So now guys, let me talk about the fact of bad hostels. Like we know, in a conventional university hostel, especially not a private university hostel now, maybe if we are talking about a federal university, a public, a federal university, you know the way the hostel can be a mess most of the time. Like, the hostel is usually so much of a mess. Hi Abayami, welcome on board. So the hostel can be so much of a mess. Like, in fact, it can be unbearable. The fear of getting kicked out if you can't cope. Okay, we are going to be dealing with that. Okay. I just had to jot it down. That's why I'm with my pen and my paper so that we can treat them accordingly. And what you said is also like the fear of failure anyway. So I'm going to talk about that too today as much as possible, as much as the time we have basically. So the conventional hostel, like I was talking about, is usually not conducive. Tato, welcome. It's usually not that conducive, and because it's not conducive, people have this fear that, oh, maybe flights could be like that. I'm not going to have my privacy. I'm not going to be alone. Blah blah blah. I have to be treating this, treating that, and all that. Now let me tell you guys, based on Nigerian license standard. Okay, there's this thing I want to say. Aviation standard is general. There's no Nigerian aviation, this aviation, that aviation. Aviation standard is general, is a worldwide thing, and there is a standard that ICAO gives for everything they want to do. The fear of not being disciplined enough to study at all. Thank you so much. We are going to be talking about that. Okay, discipline to study, we are definitely going to be talking about that. Okay, so that ICAO has a particular standard that you need to meet for you to be able to be accredited. So for an accredited school, there is a standard that ICAO expects. So because you know ICAO is the international governing body, you know, of aviation, civil aviation to be specific, and so they have this they have this benchmark that you must be on for you to be able to run a flight school or a flight organization or whatever it may be. And so having a very good and conducive hostel is part of it. In fact, quality assurance, they will call you once in a while, ask you questions like, okay, how is the hostel, how is this, how is that. It's not like you're going to get like completely as if you're staying in a hotel. You know, when you're staying in a hotel, obviously you have every single thing. You have your heater, you have this, you have that, you have that. But for the schools, the flying schools, okay, let me talk based on NCAT, then I talk a little bit about some schools I've heard about. You have what word am I going to use now? You have a good hostel, a good hostel condition. Like now, I know that in the female hostel, like where I stay in the female hostel, we have AC, which is okay, though we don't have like bedrooms, individual bedrooms in our rooms, but there are also hostels even in NCAT that they are like self-contained. So if you want the option of the self-contained, you can pay for it or you can ask for it, and you can be given depending on maybe the conditions attached to it, though I really don't know all the conditions attached to it. But let me say a regular hostel for a regular student is conducive, and even the guys, I feel they tend to enjoy more in, though they don't. Some hostels have AC, some hostels don't, but the guys even stay alone, like one person to a room, which is conducive. You have time to read, you have time to pray, you have time to do your stuff, you can be free, you can do anything you want to do. So if you have a fear of not having a good kind of hostel, I think you should remove that. A friend of mine loves aviation but wouldn't do it because she has fear of heights. That's another thing, fear of heights. Okay, let me just say something about this fear of heights. If you really love aviation, you really love flying, I think the fear of heights will not be something so personal to you. Like, you won't consider it that much. If you do your first flight, your second flight, I think it has a way of just like going away, because you cannot be scared of heights. Okay, you're going to be seeing everything like from 10,000 feet, 5,000 feet. So, and you don't expect to be looking down all the time, like you're trying to see what's down and all that, you're concentrating. So I think fear of height is something that if the person really puts his or her mind into it, you can get away with it. Like, because you're not going to be looking down and down all the time. That's the truth. You're not going to be looking down. You're going to be looking like straight ahead, like straight and level, straight ahead of you. It's only when you're coming to land, you know, all that you're kind of looking down, or when you're performing some kind of like exercises that you look down. But it's not going to be scary because it's like you are in charge of what's going on. So you have the right, you know what to do, you know what not to do. So trust me, if you really love this thing so much, the fear of heights will not be something so that will disturb you so much. It's something that can go away after a number of flights or a number of time, like being in an aircraft, whether commercial aircraft or even flying as a student pilot. Trust me, it's something that will definitely go away. Nati, welcome. Hi, mommy. Welcome on board. So guys, let's talk about another thing, the fear of failure. And somebody put that word, the fear of being kicked out of flight training. I'm going to be telling you the truth. A lot of persons, not too much anyways, have been kicked out of flight training due to poor performance or due to not getting hold of the flying. And these things happen. But there's a notion you should have that anybody can do it, and because anybody can do it and because people have been doing it, definitely you can do it. That's the first mindset I need you to have at the back of your mind, because people have been doing it. Have it at the back of your mind that people have done it, people are doing it, you can do it, because people will continue to do it. So if you're thinking that, oh, I can't do it, oh, I might not be able to fly well and all that, the truth is that sometimes some instructors don't even help matters. Let me even tell you, even when you're putting in your best, they keep telling you things like you're not, they insult you. I don't want to use all those words on this channel, but like they insult you, they tell you you can't make it, they tell you that in fact you cannot be a pilot, they tell you some words, but if you take it personal, trust me, it's going to like weigh you down so much. But if you don't take it personal, you'll be able to like do away with it and move on, because you can't keep, they say if you keep stopping to throw stones at every dog that barks up along your paths, you know, to where you're going to. You not get there fast. So that's how it is. If you keep feeling bad concerning the way instructors they talk to you, concerning the way maybe people are telling you you're not doing it, you're blah, blah. So far, you know, you're trying your best, you keep trying your best, you keep asking questions, you will not be kicked out. But first of all, the first place that people start getting kicked out is from the ground school. And I talked about the studying, how to study hard, tag along with friends, create study time. We talked about it in like the last 2 videos or so, about how to like create a schedule, be disciplined, know what you want to study, don't jam pack things together and all that. If you do all these things and you pass through ground school, I think when you come to the flying, one way or the other, you'll be able to get away with it. Like, not like getting away with it and becoming a bad pilot, that's not what I mean. I mean, like, you get a hang of it. You get to understand what the whole thing actually means and what the whole thing requires. But if you don't pass through that ground school and pass well, I'm so sorry to disappoint you. You will not even be able to come to the flying part, because if you keep failing the ground school, to get to a stage, you will have to stop your flight training. Like, you have to stop the flying, the actual flying, and go back to finish that part before you come back to the flying. So if you can discipline yourself to read very well, because I think that part is one of the most difficult parts generally that people face. But I don't think it's the most difficult anyways, because the more you keep going, the more you keep seeing how difficult some things are. Actually, I'm just being sincere, because if you say this one is the difficult part, and you come, you meet another stumbling block, and you be like, okay, this one is kind of like difficult. You go, you meet another one, you know, you keep meeting several kind of like blocks along your path, you know, to becoming a professional pilot and a very awesome pilot. And it's not even only in flight school, because I've heard a lot of persons say that the most challenges they face, not just in flight school, the truth that training is usually hard, flight school training, but when they go to the line training, like in the airlines to fly, they even face more challenges, more difficult stuff. They cannot, like, the airline captain and all that keeps telling them you can't do it, what are you doing, all those things, and they get discouraged and they lose self-confidence. Before you know, they lose the job. A lot of things, like, it just happens. So I think it's the main thing is believing that you can do it, putting your mind towards it, working hard to get there, because we cannot remove the factor of working hard. No matter how you say you can do it, if you don't work hard, nothing comes out of it. But if you keep telling yourself you can do it and you work towards doing it, I think you're going to be doing it, and you will do it, and you will do it fine. So I really thought of treating these two fears, the fear of bad hostel and the fear of failure, basically. Then we'll have other editions next tomorrow, like till Saturday. We're going to be talking about those fears, and I'm going to be telling you even some things you don't know about that will later come up in flight school, and sometimes it's not funny, but you will have to learn how to, like, pass through that phase and pass through it well. So we're going to be treating the fears of flight training, the fears of coming to flight school, some things. Even maybe we should do the ladies part tomorrow, that you should know that, okay, let me just give you like a tip. You can't just make every type of hairstyle in flight training. Okay, maybe we are supposed to talk about this tomorrow, but let me just add it here. Let me give you a tip about it. You can't just make any type of hairstyle during flight training, because you need to make hairstyles that your headset will be able to fit on. You need to make hairstyles that the instructors feel, in quotes, is not too outrageous, and they're like, come, what's that? Come on, go back to the hostel and do this and do that, you know. It's quite funny, but these are things that happen. CPL flying test fear, bam. I don't think there's I don't think there's anybody that doesn't have a fear of check ride. Well, maybe there are people that don't, but personally, a check ride is like having a fear of exam. Normal for everybody. The way people have exam sicknesses and all that, check ride, do your first check ride and all that, there's always this fear that comes with it because you don't want to go and mess up. If you mess up, it seems like you're going back, not to square one now, but you're going back to your instructor. You have to learn how to fly again. You have to go for another check before you go to the check pilot. It's usually not funny. So everybody has that fear, but it all depends. The first thing is that if you start getting scared of the instructor and you want to prove something to the instructor, you are going to fail. Let me tell you, because these instructors have been flying for years and years and years, so there's nothing you want to prove to them. Everything you want to do, they already know. Like, okay, the thing is that they can just be happy with you as a student that, okay, this person is trying, wow, well done, and all that. But if you say you want to prove something to them, you are setting up yourself for failure, because it's going to show along the line that you want to prove something to them, and in the course of trying to prove something to them, you end up forgetting the little things that you were supposed to do. You see, in fact, let me just tell you, don't try to prove anything to any instructor. When it's time for you to go for your check ride, go. Put in your mind that if you pass, glory be to God. Whatever other happens, if the other side happens of failure, just know that it's not a dead sentence. You come back and do it again, and that's all. The moment you always have that at the back of your mind, that you are prepared enough, you're going to pass, you're going to do the regular thing you've been doing with your instructor, and whatever comes out of it, God knows best. I think you're good to go, because it always happens. It happens to me too. Sometimes when you're going for check ride, my PPL check ride, like I was, CPL check ride too. But I just felt there's nothing you want to prove to these people. You will be able to do it and do it well. So guys, these are the two things we're going to treat today. Tomorrow we're going to continue with other editions. I want to try as much as possible to making the videos as short as possible, so that when other persons come, they can. I know people who have the fear of air crashes. Probably air crashes will be another topic. We are going to deal with that. I need to jot that down, because air crashes will be one of the episodes we're going to be having in this remaining 4 days, because air crashes is real. It happens. You guys saw the last air crash. It happens. You guys see sometimes, especially in South Africa. I don't want to paint any country bad, but some countries have a lot of student pilots having a lot of air crashes. I really don't know why. Maybe due to safety reasons and all that. They're not taking hold of their safety very well and all that. But it's usually not that easy anyways, because you have to keep checking and checking and checking, and the regulatory body, they can only do what they can do. They don't know every single thing. They are only trying their best. So it happens. Even in flight school, air crashes happen, incidents happen. Even in NCAT, sometimes incidents happen, just that you don't get to hear about it, because it's not something to be saying in the news about. So far, nobody died, nobody was injured, and all that. It didn't get to a stage whereby it has to get into the news. Then it's fine. So these things happen anyway. So we're going to be treating that too. We're going to be treating that in this week. I just say, let me tell you guys today that this was the next things we're going to be treating. So if you have any questions in relation to the fear of flight training, you can send me an email. You can leave a comment in the description, in the comment section of this video, and I'll be seeing you guys tomorrow. So guys, I hope you enjoyed the spirit of the break, because the break is coming to an end. So what happens when a student crashes an aircraft? A student is in training. Let's not go too much into that, but a student is in training and he's insured. Every student pilot is insured with some huge dollars, very huge dollars. But you don't want to be thinking about the dollars, because if you start working, you're going to make so much more money than that. So student pilots are insured, flight instructors are insured, and I think flight engineers are insured too, and engineers too, I think they are insured. But I know that student pilots are insured with a lot of dollars. Flight instructors are insured too with huge sum of dollars. But you don't want to think about that. These things, insurance will pay for it if they discover that it wasn't the fault, the student was current, your medicals was current, and it's not like you deliberately put yourself in that situation and all that. So insurance takes care of all these things. I hope you understand anyways, but we are going to be treating more of that. So if you have any other questions, you can just leave them, and we'll be discussing about it, you know, as the week goes on. So we'll have episode 2, 3, 4, and 5, I think. Yeah, I think we'll be having it to like episode 5 this week. So guys, bye till we see tomorrow.